Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. All right. Is it working? I don't know what the problem is today. I'm having such massive issues. Jordan is going to be joining us later. He's actually moving right now, so he was on the road. And I'm set up. So when he gets here, we'll pop him in. So look at my setup. Pretty dope, right? If it wasn't clear, we're going to be doing some video podcasts. We think that's going to be really helpful, especially day trading stuff. When you're talking about getting. When you're talking about charts, when you're talking about strategy, when you're talking about all this stuff, obviously having helps. So we're going to be doing a lot of that. Going to be doing some YouTube videos. Going to be doing a lot of the visual stuff. So we're really excited about that. Hopefully that adds some value to you guys. We've been looking forward to it. We've been setting up part of the problem today. Why we were 3 minutes late was that I was trying to get this stuff set up. I had some last minute changes to be done. So anyway, apologies. It's good to be here. It's good to see you guys. We had a last minute. Obviously, a lot of this was last minute. We had kind of a change. We're gonna have people popping in and out. I think we had 30 people signed up. So similar to what we had last year. We like keeping it kind of small because that allows us to be able to answer everybody's questions, and it'll work out well. So thanks for showing up, guys. Really appreciate it. What we want to do in this next hour and a half or so. What we'd like to do is essentially condense down our 2 years of podcasts into a tight 90 minutes. Okay. So far we have I think now we're at 150 episodes. 150 episodes. Huge. So we're very proud of that. We've gone through a million different things. And there's a lot of really good stuff. Really appreciate your support on the podcast. What we'd like to do is take the most important stuff and condense it down. And add in anything that we've learned over the last year. Because you have to keep learning. You have to keep learning in trading. And this has been a tough year for a lot of people. I know it has been for me. It has been for Jordan. A lot of traders have had trouble this last year. And the more stuff that we've seen this year, we've actually learned a lot of really good stuff, particularly dealing with kind of extended trouble. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of things that we haven't seen the last few years. We've seen tariff stuff that no one was ready for. Right. We've seen weird elections. We've seen weird run-ups to elections. We've seen assassination attacks. We've seen just weird stuff. Really weird stuff. And when you see weird stuff, it tends to make the market act weird. And also life changes. Whenever you get busy, whenever things change, whenever you can no longer trade from 9:30 to 10, and so now you have to trade from 2:30. All this stuff makes a difference. And so we've taken some hard knocks this year. A lot of people I know have. And we're excited to chat with you guys. Answer any questions. do some live trading,
and
try to.
I'm working off of a similar kind of backdrop presentation of what we did last year. But we're going to sprinkle in a bunch of stuff and kind of flow freely a little bit. Just use it as a framework to then have a really good discussion about what it takes to be successful trading. And we think that at the end of this time, you'll have a clearer idea. Now, if you're a longtime viewer, Ghost Gaming, I see in there. You've been listening to the backlog. Really huge. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. The backlog. We go a long way back.
Now.
2 years in, we got 150 episodes. So hopefully we can condense a little bit of that. But yeah. So starting off, we're kind of going to give. I want to give a background of who Jordan and I are, and then give some context to our unique vision of what trading is. So we disagree with pretty much everybody on what it takes to be successful. Not pretty much everybody. Pretty much everybody who trades. Not pretty much all successful. The difference is most successful people don't. Most successful people don't sell their ideas because why would they? And most people don't
waste their time
talking into the void like Jordan and I. But you know what?
We found
to be really helpful. We found this podcast to be really helpful for us. Jordan and I noticed stark difference in how we trade when we're consistently doing this podcast. And so that's why we wanting to get into visual, get onto YouTube, make some video podcasts because we think it'll be really helpful. Not just for you guys. We're very selfish. We think it'll help us more too. It helps us focus. Okay. So all of this said, let's jump in. So we are. Let me pull this up. Okay. Trying all my new transitions. Working off of a different platform than I normally do. Everything's being terribly confusing. Okay. So here's what we're planning on doing. Giving ourselves an introduction. I'm going to tell you guys our trading philosophy and how it differs from pretty much everybody else and give you guys a good framework. Now again, I don't want this to be boring for anybody who's listened to a lot of our stuff. Anybody who's came to the masterclass last year. But I'm going to remind you guys of a lot of stuff, and then hopefully we can add some stuff on top of that. Make it useful for you guys. And then at the end, I'm going to make you guys an offer to give you guys a jump start. A few months jump start. And some free coaching. So if you stick around, I think it'll be helpful for you guys. Okay. So our agenda, our philosophy, day trading 101. I want to give you kind of our strategy of what we do. Now, here's the cool part. Doesn't make any difference. And
I know a lot of success.
Jordan, we just
did an episode a couple months ago about Jordan had talked to a successful day trader who was very wary. He didn't want to come on the podcast. He wanted to share his success.
And I get that. If sharing your strategy made any difference. It doesn't. There's no secret sauce. And the reason is going back to our core philosophy. So we're going to give you our day trading strategy. Tell you exactly what we do. We're going to tell you everything you need to know to succeed. The habits you need to be able to form to succeed. Because the habits to succeed are much different than just teaching you. There's no magic agenda. There's no magic sauce. There is a magic way of doing things that will get you to where you need to be successful. I like. There's a really good analogy that I've never used before, so I'm going to drop it here. We like analogies. There's a really good analogy when it comes to
let's say losing weight. It's a well-known vast majority of the vast majority of diets fail. So let's say you're 50 pounds overweight. You hop on a diet. You're going to fail. Just look at the stats. Like most diets crash out. People can't stick with it. For a number of reasons. Old habits die hard. The underlying reasons why you're overeating. Whatever. But the fact is the habits die really hard. So most diets fail. The thing is though, if you do stick with what you're supposed to do, you will succeed. In other words, it's not like the people whose diets fail did all the right things and then still don't lose weight. That's not true, and it's not possible, by the way. It's not possible. So the people who end up succeeding, the people who do stick with the diet will always 100% of the time actually lose weight. And so this is how we see day trading. The day trading is really depressing if you look at the number of 99% of people fail. Right? Very depressing. But just like most diets fail, but if you do the correct things, you will lose weight 100% of the time. We view trading as something very similar. Most people do fail. Most people fail because they don't stick with what they need to do. Jordan, did you just hop on?
Hello, I am sorry, guys. I decided in the same week to do the live stream, run a triathlon, start a new job, and move houses all in the same week. And oh my word, I filled too much onto my plate, Levi. So thank you for picking up the slack, because my God, got so much going on.
Yeah. Let me make sure that everybody's hearing you. Guys, are you hearing Jordan here? I just want to make sure that Jordan's not speaking into the void here. Let me just make sure.
¿Cómo está? Sweaty cop? Ben yang ai? Do you understand me? Can you hear me?
So wait a second. First of all, I'm not seeing.
Well, you probably can't see me because I don't have my video on.
Well, that's okay. Let me pull up. I got to make sure you're in.
All right.
Okay. So they do not hear you.
I think you have to pick Zoom as a audio input on OBS.
I brought in. Okay. Let's do this. Yeah. Let me pull in the. The problem is he's hopping into. He was hopping in late, so I couldn't set up a source for him. So we were just trying to add it ad hoc later. So it was unfortunate, but this is not audio.
Man, if you can't get it, you're gonna have to take me solo. You're gonna have to go solo.
I got you. No, I got you. So how do I pull the audio?
You should just be able to pick Zoom as an audio input.
Yeah.
Down as sources in OBS.
Yeah. Oh, application audio cache. There it is.
Yep, there you go.
Hell yeah. Okay. There we go. I
Can anyone hear me? Hello.
That's it.
Once people confirm they can hear me, then I can redo my whole intro.
Just wait. Let me add you to this. Here we go. Okay. And I will very quickly add you to the next one. Okay. I think you should be good now.
Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing.
All right.
Can anybody hear her?
I think we're good.
Can anybody see?
Sorry, guys. We're working out kinks here. I'm Jordan. My camera setup is fantastic.
I know. I'm gonna have one, man. I've got a beautiful unfinished basement that I'm creating a studio in. Hopefully, within a week or two, I'll have everything, and I'll be well set up for awesome video as well.
Okay. Perfect. So I think we're good. All right. They're saying. They still can't hear you. All right. That's weird, because you're showing up on my. You're showing up in my audio mixer, so it definitely sees that your voice.
If you're in the mixer, you then just have to select it as an output, though, as well. But if you can't, you might just have to go solo.
Well. Okay, just a second. It's not showing as. How do I get it as an output then?
Should just be able to add to mix.
I mean, it's here. When you talk, it shows up.
I don't know.
Dang. Well.
Fly solo, little friend. No, give everyone my best wishes.
Wait a second. Let me just make sure. I won't hold this here long, guys. I just want to make sure that we have that our output is correct. Yeah, it says it's weird because it's showing your voice when you speak. I see in the audio mixer. It shows up. Let me try to restart the stream. Maybe that'll make a difference. And then we'll pop back in. Wait a second. I don't know if I can. Jordan. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, just give people my best wishes and Godspeed on it, and I will be joined. Just say we'll plan on doing one a month from now with our video setup as well. So we'll just do a follow-up one. I'll join next month.
Okay. Yeah, they're still not hearing you. It's weird. It's weird showing up in the audio. We'll have to figure it out next time. We'll be doing these more. Again, I told the people that obviously we're going to be doing. Oh, actually, it just says that they just said they can hear you.
Hello.
Kevin just said they can hear you. He's saying you are echoey.
Well, that's probably because I'm on. I can take myself off a speaker, and that should be a little bit better.
Let me turn desktop audio off. There we go. Jordan, try speaking again.
Yeah, I'm here.
That's much better. Okay. There we go. I think we got it. It was echoing because both the desktop audio and the Zoom audio were in the mix, but now it's not. Which Amando? Just close the short on good.
Short on good.
Awesome,
man.
Okay,
awesome, man.
Guys, I think we got it.
Okay.
I apologize,
guys. If Mando's trading gold, then he should be the one teaching this class, because I gotta admit, I can't trade gold to save my life.
We're absolutely awful at gold.
I have had short spurts where I think I'm good at gold, and then I can't do it to save my life. Yeah, that's weird, Mando. We got Kevin is on here saying can. Hey Kevin. I'm Levi. What's up?
He's
saying I'm
echoey.
No. So now I'm the one that's echoey. Well, I don't know what to say. Mando isn't. We somehow have like two separate concurrent. It's weird because YouTube. I'm in YouTube Studio, which is showing Marco and Mando and Ghost and few others. And then there's another one in OBS. Yeah, I'm the echoey guy, which is odd because my mic is good. Advanced audio properties. Let's turn off that. Somehow we have two different audios coming through. Yeah, Mando and Marco. There's no video. Son of a gun. Somehow we have two separate things. Somehow I'm streaming. So I didn't realize the video's not on you guys with Mando and Marco. Damn. So I have. Because I have the video and Kevin is seeing my video, but it's getting an echo. You guys aren't getting an echo. Aren't seeing Jordan. Something is totally screwed up. I apologize. We've been having issues with OBS. Let me try this again. I'm going to end the stream Marco with you guys. End these streams, and then I'm going to restart just on an open live. It should be just a live stream right on the website. And then we'll see if that resets some stuff. Sound good? All right. Hey Jordan, you there?
I am here.
All right.
Could also just send people a Zoom link. I've got the Zoom link. Everyone can just join the Zoom link. Very simple.
That's
not live streaming. It's not wouldn't be live streamed, but you could record it, upload it to the live stream later.
Oh, this is why. This is why I'm echoing. I found it.
Well, you're a genius.
Problemo solved. That's it, right?
Yep.
Mando, Kevin. Is this it? Did we fix the problem? Okay. I think.
Well, no, we're clearly the problem. So I don't know if we could fix that.
I think we fixed the problem. I just fixed it. I had OBS is a bit of a problem. All right, guys, welcome. Sorry about that, guys. Kevin, it's good to have you. This was a masterclass. This was I don't know whether you're coming from the podcast. This is a private masterclass that we had only a private link for, but the private link evidently was just getting audio through, and this was out there on the out there in the ether, just going live and probably taking the video stream. So we had 2 separate streams going at once somehow. Goodness gracious. Jordan, what's up, man? We're live.
We are live, and I got to say, I picked off way too much more than I could chew, being that this is in this week I've done a triathlon, started a new job, moved houses, and trying to do a live stream. I overdid it, hence why I'm not even on video right now, because I'm outside in the middle of like the moving truck trying to move houses. But I am here, and I will have a beautiful setup in this house for audio and video, and it'll be great in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Dude, I was cutting close too, which is why we're a little bit obviously underprepared, because I got out of work early too, on purpose. I got out at 3, and I've been working on it ever since. And I thought we had it, thought it was good, and of course, when everything goes live, obviously everything goes wrong. So, but no, awesome. It's good to have you. It's good to be here, dude. Yeah, Mando, my wife got me this thing. It's pretty sick, right? Jordan, did you see this? My Anarchy trading neon sign. Jordan.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? Have you seen my sign?
I saw the picture you sent. It looks great.
Sick. Yeah, Sarah got it for me, and it's it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Okay. We're ready to go. Okay, so I was talking about how cool my like stuff was looking on the private stream, and everybody was flipping. Everybody wasn't even seeing it. Damn. Okay, so apologies. We're gonna miss some people because people are gonna click on that link and it's gonna go absolutely nowhere. So I apologize. We might have a smaller group. That's okay. So what I told everybody going in was kind of, we're going to work off the same kind of backdrop that everybody else that we did last year, kind of the masterclass, but we've learned a lot in the last year. And so I kind of wanted to start by giving everybody kind of a summary of who we are, what we've done, why we're here, why anybody listens to us, anything that makes us unique, and how we got to that point. Jordan, you want to kind of start us off?
Yeah, well, I have to admit, I'm the one who approached you about trading. The reason I got into it is, who knows, one day the YouTube algorithms decided to start sending me day trading videos, probably because they knew I was looking for a cool alternative to a full-time job, and I was looking at different ways I could earn money. And suddenly I was starting getting trading videos, and of course got sucked in by the gurus. And I approached Levi and I was like, listen, there's this place that promises to teach you how to trade. You have to pay multiple thousands of dollars. And at the end of a month or 2, they say you'll be trading and making money. I've been doing this research. Trading does look legit, even though it's hard. Come on, Levi and I both, confidence is not something we lack. So we're like, we're super smart and we're in the top 5%, 10% of smartness. We should have no problem doing this. You should sign up. And so thus we signed up for the course that between both of us, we could have bought ourselves a small car, or if we invested it in Tesla stock or something of the sort, we probably would be much wealthier now
Tesla stock
than if we'd been trading.
Yeah.
But so that's what got us into it.
That's what got us into it. And to be fair, that's what kept us going. So,
fair point.
So we always encourage people not to spend money on courses. That said, us spending money on courses was the only reason that we are still doing this, because we spent a few grand, or I forget exactly how much. It was a lot. It was a few grand, I think, and 2 or 3 grand, and that kept us going through the hard times, through the ups, and then I made it, and then you start losing for the next 6 months. Oh, I made it, and then it kept us going, because it was like hell am I gonna have wasted 3 grand doing something stupid like this? So we kind of got to learn. We kind of jumped in and forced ourselves to keep going. So given that, all right, so we start day trading. We take a course. Kevin, we were in classes. We were doing these classes. How long was it, Jordan? Was it
like, it was a month long. I mean, in their defense, it was pretty robust. Like, it was in person, one-on-one classes.
It was a lot of class time.
A month. Like, we spent
every day.
We were spending 10 hours of classes per week. So, like, and again, looking back, like, yes, go listen to our first guru or second guru podcast to get our opinions on gurus, but it is what has kept us into it. It kept us in it, and we did learn a lot over those first couple months.
And the guy who was doing the trading was in London, so he traded the London open. So I would wake up at 4:00 in the morning, trade until, like, I was working from home at the time, so I could trade longer. And yeah, it was brutal. We did that for a full month, and we started getting decent, started trading pretty okay. We're thinking, hey, dude, we're going to, like, make bank. We're paper trading. And then we go live, and I lose the first 20 trades in a row. Was it 20 or was it 30? No, it was 30. It was in a row, and I wasn't trading like 1 to 20 risk to reward. Like, I wasn't trading like a 1% to 5% win strategy. I was trading like 1 to 1.5, 1 to 2. I was winning like 50% of them when I was paper trading, and I started real trading, and I started losing every single trade. We did the math. It was like, if it was just pure chance, it was 1 in billions. It was the craziest losing streak that I've ever seen. It was insane. It was unexplainable by pure luck. I was so good at being bad that if I'd just taken the opposite trades, I would have. It was just so crazy to me, and I started losing over and over and over again, and immediately flunked out of the course. It was kind of like a prop firms, kind of, but it wasn't. They were much more serious in how they trained their people. They trained them in person, and then they gave you a lot more leeway in playing with real money afterwards. But I still immediately flunked out because I lost 30 trades in a row, and we were like, wow, okay, what the hell just happened? And then but we couldn't, like, give up because, you know, we'd spent $3,000. So we kept trading. And then we started asking ourselves a lot of questions because we started listening to a lot of people, and things stopped making sense. Things didn't make any sense. We started asking, like, questions like, okay, if all it takes is information, we live in the information age. You can go online. If all it takes is knowing how to trade and just, like, learning a strategy, why is 95, 99% of people fail? Why isn't the opposite? Like, if it's just a matter of learning the thing, how could 99% of people fail at that? The information's out there. The internet exists. Why doesn't everybody succeed? Jordan, do you remember kind of these early conversations that we had with this?
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about it. Like, the one thing that was kind of pounded into our head during our training was that trading was all about psychology. I remember our instructor saying, "Yeah, well, you got to learn the psychology," and we're like, Levi and I are going, poo, like, psychology, our fat butt, you know. We're analytical, we're super smart. We both come from like hard science background / approach. Like, we just approach this analytically. Psychology is garbage, and we talked about that for weeks and months until we discovered we were wrong.
Yeah. So, but that in and of itself created questions, even more questions, which was like, okay, so
if trading is all psychological.
Yeah. Well, how is it psychological? Right? Again, if it's just learning the right stuff, how does psychology even matter? right? If trading is simple, like if trading is just knowing the right stuff, why can't you just train an algorithm or create create a program in 5 minutes that'll trade for you and get rid of, the fleshy bit that's the worst part of trading, like you, right? Why couldn't a machine do it, right? If trading psychology is so important, why does it how could it possibly matter? If candlestick patterns, how could those possibly work? Because if you just move one step up, if you see there's a dragonfly doji, that means a reversal. Well, if you just move from your 1 minute candles to your 20-minute candles, that's now an engulfing bearish candle. How can that possibly, how do candlestick patterns possibly mean anything? We started just asking a lot of really basic questions that kind of fell out of this whole trading, all these questions that we had. How does everybody fail? How do candlestick patterns possibly work? If the market is fractal, why are we trying to learn they were teaching us on 1 hour candles. Why are we learning to trade on 1 hour candles and watching 1 hour candles go by when we could just trade shorter time frames and maybe get a little bit more experience, see more candles? We just started asking a lot more questions. And eventually, we asked enough questions that we kind of figured something out, and that has proven correct, and that has proven really useful and gotten Jordan and I to be profitable traders.
I remember where we were. I was on a road. We actually got talking about this. I think I came out to the States. I was living in Thailand at the time, and came out to the States for a friend's wedding. And I was on a road trip talking to Levi on the phone, like we were road tripping together, but in separate vehicles. And we, of course, talked about trading nonstop. And we got talking about how, trading can't be quantified, because if it could, then there would be, trillionaires who were trading, who were mechanicalizing trading and making a bunch of money, but there weren't. And so we started, just theorizing together. Well, maybe trading is not all about just doing the right thing or perfecting your entries. Maybe there's more to it.
Yeah. I remember this conversation that we had, and eventually we discovered, and what started there, but it became more and more concrete as we moved along, that successful day trading strategies are based on intuition. Intuition, not concrete rules. Now, that is not a popular opinion. It's not. And most people tend to not agree with you. And there's a reason why most beginners, why ICT is a really popular guru for beginners. It's because ICT, and again, most trading gurus do this, teach trading like it's a list of rules that if you just do this, if you just follow this strategy, if you just A plus B equals take trade, if you just do the right thing, you'll succeed. You'll make money, right? That's how they taught it. And what we've learned, and that has been backed up by us personally and by a lot of the people that we've helped with this. We've had a lot of really good conversations. Marco, you were on. I think he's back on this stream now. He's started seeing more success. A lot of you have had a lot more success, and it's been really good to watch. But we've seen this in our own trading, and we saw this as we got better, that trading is based off of intuition. Trading is based off of feel. Now, that's scary, for one. It's not popular for beginners because that's, again, most beginners would like to have a list of rules. Hey, just do this and you'll succeed. But it's not the case. And so beginners hate it. Gurus hate it because you can't make any money off of it. You can't make money off of Well, maybe you could. You could maybe make a little bit of money off of, mentoring if you did it right, but nobody does. No, you can't sell. Hey, trading is about feel, man. You just got to put in the time and the hours. Blah 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 blah. You can't really sell that. What you could sell is, hey, I got a strategy, and if you just do this and you follow my rules, if you pay me $1,000, I'll teach you my strategy, and then you'll make money. That's what you can sell. And so nobody likes this. But what we want to hopefully prove to you, and that we've been trying to prove in our podcast, is that this is the key to success. Now, if you're a longtime listener, you've heard this before. All right. So I don't want to bore you too much with that. We hopefully have a really good conversation here going forward and throw in stuff that we've learned over the years. But that was just that's a good backdrop of who we are and what we believe. What we believe is pretty unique. Day trading, Jordan, is based off of feel. And that whole idea leads itself into a bunch of pretty unique ideas and a lot of pretty unique ideas kind of flow naturally from that.
Yeah, so true. It's all field-based, but the problem is what people don't like about field-based, of course, is that means we can't teach it. You can only teach principles, which is also, of course, why we're against gurus teaching people how to train, because at the end of the day, we can teach you to trade as Levi will show you here in a few minutes, is that you can just do it in 5 minutes and then you're done.
Yeah. Now, Kevin asked a question that he likes the idea of this value of intuition, but don't you have to learn the basics first? Yes, you do. How much time experience do you need under your belt before you can rely on the intuition? These are all good questions. Let's try to answer some of these. So, first of all, you do need to know the basics. So we've beat this analogy to death. We have a full episode on this. Go back and look at it, watch or listen to our episode on golf. We've beat it to death. There's a correct technique for hitting a golf ball, for drive. Let's say you want to learn to drive a golf ball like Tiger Woods. There's a correct technique. Now, here's the thing. You can learn that correct technique in about 20 minutes on YouTube. Just literally go on YouTube, how to drive a golf ball. You can learn pretty much everything you need to know to drive a golf ball correctly. If you go to the range, armed with that special secret sauce knowledge, are you going to hit a golf ball well? The answer is no. You're going to suck. You definitely need the correct know-how. And so we've sprinkled a lot of that in. Our podcast is full of really good best practices. That's the word I like using, Jordan. Like that phrase, because there's best practices of, hey, this is the best way to go about stuff. This is, hey, you need to, some really common best practices are, walk away from your computer when you've taken a trade. Don't screw around with your trade too much. That's a really good best practice for new beginners, because beginners tend to screw around with their trade, hop out early, take profits too early, extend their stop loss. The best way to do that is just step away from the computer. You take a trade, leave. You win it or you lose it. That's a really good best practice. And so we preach that one a lot. That's not some secret sauce. It's just a best practice. So there are basics, and Kevin, we're going to teach the basics of how to take trades, how our strategy. We're going to hit that. We're going to give that information. But we view this again like golf. This is like watching a 20-minute video on how to hit a golf ball. It's useful. In fact, you need to listen to it. You need to watch that video of how to hit a golf ball. But if that's all you do, that's not going to make you successful. The only way to do that correctly, to be able to hit a golf ball really well, is to, yes, get the correct information. Yes, get the correct get the correct knowledge in your head, but then you have to go out and hit 10,000 golf balls, right? So, yes, Eddie, the strategy that works, I'm going to show you a strategy. It works just fine. In fact, it's really, really basic. It's one of the first strategies you learn in day trading. I trade support and resistance, and I trade essentially trends in support and resistance using support and resistance.
But just to throw in there, just guess what? Guess what strategy works? The strategy that you use. Haha. It's not like there is no strategy. The strategy is you. Honestly, we make fun of ICT, but guess what? There are people who trade ICT successfully. Like there actually are.
Yeah.
Even though we mock it, because it's not about you literally pick any strategy. Now, as Levi said, we're going to show you the strategy we use because it allows you to get in high repetitions and a lot of looks in the market, which we believe is the key to learning how to trade. But at the end of the day, literally pick your strategy. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so this is a fairly unique idea. Again, the strategies, it's you. So if you've gone golf, you've seen people who have awful strokes. Awful. Like they have awful technique and they're really good. For some reason, they always hit straight down the fairway. It's like, I watched a full video, Bryson DeChambeau. Is that how you say his last name? I don't know. He was golfing it was the one where he golfed with Trump. And Trump has an ungodly bad looking swing. And he's really good. Like, really good. And he has a really ugly swing. He's really, really good. He hits it straight pretty much every single time. And it was just shocking how good you could shoot it with a really bad stroke. And so people can trade making money on ICT. What we like teaching on our podcast, it's really boring and cheap if you just teach strategy, because strategy is the easy part. The hard part, the reason people fail at trading, is not the strategy. Again, going back to my first analogy with losing weight, the strategy to lose weight is real easy, real simple. We all know what the strategy is, guys. If you need to lose weight, here's the strategy. Eat less calories. Okay? That's the strategy. Congrats. You now have the secret to go lose weight. There are billion-dollar industries of how to help people lose weight. And there's now $1 trillion medication you can take. Ozempic to lose weight. Why? Everybody knows the strategy. Everybody knows the strategy to lose weight. Guess what? No one's losing weight. Most people fail. Why? The reason people fail at losing weight and at day trading is not the strategy. That's the easy part. The hard part is, okay, how do you stay consistent? What are the things you do? What are the best practices for, okay, if you have a temptation to eat and you don't want to eat, what should you do when I'm trading? And what I'm over trading. How do I avoid over trading? Right? I'm hopping out of trades too early. I'm cutting my gains and I'm extending my losses. How do I avoid doing that? That's the hard part of trading. And if you can stick through that for a long time, longer than most other people will, you'll eventually succeed. Just like most crash diets fail. But if you stick with it, and if you stick with the secret strategy of eating less, eventually you will lose weight. Period. There's no question about it. It's not like, oh, maybe you will. You will. So this is how we view trading. The strategy is the easy part. We will teach. I'll teach you my strategy right now. I'll teach it to you when we live trade right at the end, and it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you win, but maybe it'll give you a good idea of a simple strategy you can do. So, Kevin, you hit the nail on the head. Kevin said reps. Yes, reps. Reps is the way to go. Now, you do have to do reps the correct way, but we'll walk into that. So, yeah, Jordan, that was a kind of I'd use that analogy, the food analogy, but I think it's a pretty good one as far as the strategy is the easy part. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, the strategy is literally pick one that you work. The hard part is the psychology, and I think we'll probably I'm going to have to drop off for a couple of minutes.
You're good,
but I'll be drop in as I'll just mute. But I'll let you carry on. But the psychology again, the psychology is the hard part. And the only I'll leave this caveat. The only book that I'd ever recommend, Trading in the Zone, only trading book I have read, but phenomenal because it goes in. And when I first read it, thought it was absolute complete garbage.
Yeah.
Now I think it is the gold standard.
It is the gold standard because it puts the focus on things that are the important. It's how to maintain consistency, and with your psychology, with how you view the market, it's very, very useful. Jordan, appreciate it. When you hop back on, just give a shout. We'll wrap you back in. Okay, so here's the deal. So we've kind of given that backdrop. That's all. The strategy is the easiest part, right? So I wanted to kind of drop this little bit of knowledge here, the explicit versus implicit learning. The difference between Jordan and my approach to the market and pretty much everybody else's is everybody else teaches them day trading like it's explicit learning, and like math. If you go to school and you want to learn math, it's explicit learning. What that means is, hey, here's rules, and if you just apply these rules, you can now do that thing. So let's teach you how to add numbers. Once you know how to add numbers, it always works. You can just go out and apply the exact same rules, and it works. That's explicit learning. Implicit learning, here's the National Institute of Health. Implicit learning is a process of acquiring knowledge that occurs without conscious awareness of learning, whereas explicit learning involves the use of overt strategies. Okay, so again, math is an explicit learning. Implicit learning is something you're not conscious of learning. Think social skills. Some of us did. I had to explicitly learn social skills because I was awful when I was a kid. I was the shyest kid you'll ever meet. Had awful social skills. Borderline, like just awful. Awful with people, shy of my own dad, right? I had to learn explicitly. But most people learn social skills implicitly. You just spend enough time with people and eventually you know to squeeze, with 3 pounds of force when you shake someone's hand. You know to look at their eyes for only like 2 seconds and then break eye contact before you bring it back up. These aren't things that you explicitly are taught. You just learn them implicitly. The reason autistic people have a really hard time with social skills is they don't implicitly learn social skills. It's impossible for them to. And so they have to explicitly. So we've been watching a lot of Love on the Spectrum. My wife loves that show. And so I've been watching it with her. That's my excuse. My wife watches it. Okay? I don't. I'm just there with her while she watches it. So we've been watching a lot of Love on the Spectrum. And it is funny because these people, really great people, but they have to explicitly learn all this stuff. So they have flow charts in their brain of, okay, I have to say this at the end of a date. They've been taught that I have to do X. I have to say this specific phrase when someone shakes my hand. And so everything is explicitly learned. And so it's really difficult for them. So anyway, that was a tangent. But social skills. Learning language when you're a kid, right? When you're learning as an adult, it's explicitly learned. You learn it from a book. You memorize new vocabulary words. When you're a kid, you don't do that at all. You just hear it a bunch, and eventually you hear enough of your home mother tongue that you know it. This is where we believe day trading falls into. Day trading is implicitly learned. It's not an explicit list of rules. Okay, so if that's the case, the key to day trading success is your brain. You're the key. So if you're the key to learning day trading, you're the key to being successful, you have to do there's a bunch of different ways that we've found based off of all this background. This is how we kind of have created a way to learn day trading that we think will speed up your day trading a lot. Best practices. Again, going back to that phrase, this is where the best practices come in. Okay, so first of all, strategy. Strategy is unimportant. Like we just talked about a lot about it. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time. Strategy is completely unimportant. It's not what makes you money. You can learn a bunch of different strategies. Some people learn trends. Some people learn ICT. Some people learn, some people don't use any lines. I use a couple horizontal lines for support and resistance. That's it. It's unimportant. But it's really important to stick with your strategy. So at the same time, strategy is both unimportant and it's hella important. The reason a lot of beginners fail, I would say most beginners fail, is that beginners think strategy is the key to success. Why wouldn't they? That's how they're taught. Every single guru tells them that. Just learn the right strategy. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Just learn the right strategy. You'll make money. Pay me money. I'll teach you. And so beginners think the strategy is the problem. So if they're not making money, what's the problem? It's the strategy. So they trade a strategy for a few months. They fail. And then they move on. Here's the problem. If you change, because we just said it's implicitly learned, this is a feel-based sport, right? It's a feel-based game. If you move and change every few months, guess what? You ain't ever going to succeed. You're never going to be successful. And so strategy is unimportant. Does not matter. Pick one. Pick what's an easy, simple one. That's what we always say. That's why I hate ICT, because it's not easy and it's not simple, and people get confused and think it's about the rules. Pick a strategy that's simple, that you can explain in one sentence, and then stick to it like you're going to die if you don't, because you won't succeed if you change stuff around. Okay? So, yeah, Kevin, the ways to mitigate the emotional stuff. I'm gonna hit this. Screw it, I'll hit it now. So because trading it's a psychological game, right? It's a feel-based game. It's not rules-based. It's implicitly learned. This is why your brain matters. This is why psychology matters. And this is where emotions come in. So everybody who's played any sport will tell you, hey, let's say you golf. It's different hitting a golf, hitting a shot off the tee or putting. Let's say you putt. It's different putting when you're just playing with your friends than if you're on the last hole, 18th hole of the PGA Tour, and you need to sink this putt to win. Obviously, that's different. And that will affect your performance. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that pressure makes things harder. And so this is why, by the way, paper trading, it's not really useful. Because trading isn't about technique. Paper trading just teaches you technique. Might be a little bit helpful early on to get your feet wet so you know what you're doing. But at the end of the day, you got to start trading with a little bit of stakes in the game. Because else you're not trading with emotion. And if you're not trading with emotion, you're wasting your time. So, the ways to deal with emotion. For one, you're going to hear this a lot, practice. There's just no other way about it. You have to practice. The way you get good at hitting crunch time shots in any sport is to be in crunch time. Like you have to be in those, you have to put yourself into those high pressure situations. Practice. The more you do something, the more you put yourself under pressure, the better you're going to be at handling that pressure. There's just no other way about it. This is why Jordan and I, there's a slide on this later. I'll hit it now. The reason why we like prop firms, because telling beginners to start trading with real money is risky. Because beginners do really advanced people. Everyone at some point, but especially beginners, do really stupid stuff. And you can lose a lot of money. And I don't like telling beginners to trade with real money because they tend to make really big, really awful mistakes. And so the way prop firms are pretty helpful as a bridge between paper trading, which has no stakes, and real money, which has stakes, but also you can lose everything, and you it can be really, really bad. Prop firms offer a little bit of stakes, right? Prop firms, you pay X amount of money for a $50,000 account. Let's say you pay $100 per month for a $50,000 account. You don't want to blow that account. You don't want to lose, and you want to win. Pressure, there's definite real pressure there, but there's not the, hey, it's your money and you're going to create all sorts of problems type pressure. So it's a good bridge. So put yourself in high pressure situations. That's, Kevin, how you practice that. And that's how you get better. That's the primary way. Okay. Now there's definitely best practices to avoid letting emotion get to you. One major one that I do, okay, is step away. Step away. Both when you're watching trades sometimes and when you've taken trades. So there's times when I know that the market is just too volatile. It's just not looking good. It's not pretty. And you'll learn what pretty looks like as you watch more of the market. You'll get to know what, hey, this is my look. This looks good for me. My style, this fits it. You'll get to understand that. But there's times when I'll watch the market and I realize the market's just not looking good. It's not pretty. And so what I'll do is I'll stop watching because I know that if I keep watching, I'm going to eventually take a trade. We did a whole episode on, it's called the blue dot effect. This is a study that they've done, which is you show people a blue dot. You show them dots on a screen and you tell them, hey, whenever there's a blue dot, push this button. So all the study is you put people in front of a screen, you have dots jump out on the screen, pop up, and you tell them, hey, push this button when there's a blue one. And people are really good at it. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Whenever a blue dot pops up, you push a button, boom, you win. But then keep letting people do it. Tell them to keep going for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 20, 30. A weird thing starts happening. People start pushing the button when the dots aren't blue. People start seeing dots as blue that aren't blue. That should blow your mind, right? What are you talking about? How can you possibly think a dot is blue that's not blue when you're not colorblind? Your eyes are perfectly fine. Well, the problem is that people, as you spend more and more time on, when you spend more and more time watching something, looking for something, expecting something, your brain plays tricks on you, which is a good reason, one, to cap your trading per day. Don't trade too long. Find out where that blue dot line is for you, where you start seeing blue dots where there aren't any. Because eventually, if you trade too long, eventually you'll force one. And you'll think there's something there. Your brain will play tricks on you. So that's a really good, the way I avoid seeing stuff that's not there is when I know there's no trade in the works for me, I just step away. I just stop looking. And I'll come back in 10 minutes, right? Or 20 minutes. I'll give it time. So the market's whipping around. It's not looking pretty. And so I'll go, okay, you know what? I'm not going to look for 20 minutes. I'm going to step away. I'm going to do something else. So that's a good way on the front end. On the back end, once I take a trade, I walk away. I don't come back to that trade for another 20 minutes. I'll come back, look at it. If it's still going at 20 minutes, I usually get out because my trades should be done by then. I'm a scalper. Jordan and I both scalp. But that's how the best way to avoid emotion is to just step away when you would have emotion. When you get itchy, just walk away. People get too obsessed with watching and controlling their trade. It's one reason I like short risk to reward. I like 1-to-1s. I like 1-to-1.5s because I either win it or I don't, and I don't feel a ton of pressure to play with my stop loss and extend. And I just take a trade, and if I lose it, I lose it. If I win it, I win it. It's an easy way to do that. Ghost said missing that birdie putt 10 feet away at the third hole will screw up the other 15 for sure. This is a good point, a good time to jump in and say another way to control emotion is you have to set up guardrails for yourself and be humble enough to know where your lines are. Know when you're going to be bad. A good example is missing a birdie putt on the third hole and screwing up the other 15, right? In trading, what that is losing too many trades in a row. So if you lose a trade and then you lose another trade and then another, guess what? Are you more or less likely to lose the next one? You're way more likely to lose the next one. You start playing, your brain starts getting desperate. It plays tricks with your head, right? Just like the missing that birdie putt on the third hole can mess up the rest. So you need to be humble enough to recognize where that line is for you. Typically, me losing my first trade doesn't mean a whole bunch to me, but if I lose 2 trades in a row, my best practice is I just stop trading for the day. I lose 2 trades in a row and I stop. Because I know that if I keep trading after losing the first 2, that I won't perform well. Most likely I'll keep losing. And so that's a best practice so those are a few best practices. I guess that's a kind of a long answer, Kevin, but to address the emotional issues is to 1, practice a lot, 2, make sure that you're avoiding time. Like, look, if you're going to be emotional watching your trade, stop watching it. It's okay. You don't have to. If you think you're going to get itchy feet and want to jump into a trade when you know the market doesn't look like it should trade, walk away. Just avoid. It's the easiest way is to just avoid it. And then limit your exposure. If you start losing, know that, hey, if I've lost this much, I'm most likely to keep losing. So I'm going to stop. And then be humble enough to stick through it. Okay, so we've talked about kind of getting started. So let me jump into this real quick. What we like to tell people to do is to first paper trade for the first little bit. I know I just hated on paper trading, but it's a good way to get your feet wet as far as, hey, how does trading actually work? And then hop into a prop firm. Just start giving yourself a little bit of when you lose a trade. You want to feel it because paper trading you don't feel anything, and so it doesn't affect you. When you trade with a prop firm, don't do expensive ones. You're going to fail them. Every single one. You're going to fail your trades.
And I'm back.
He's back.
I concur.
Yes. I was just telling people to avoid. Don't go for expensive prop firms. Just get very cheap. You're going to lose them. They're just so you feel something. This is how you get started. Hop into a prop firm fairly early.
Don't get 5 accounts.
Yeah. I've done that. I've done that. Well, Jordan knows. Okay, so I'm going through how to start if you're a beginner. Number 1, hop into TradingView, start practicing kind of a basic strategy. A basic strategy is simply, there's plenty of them. They're not magic. Just know this. Basic strategies are not magic. I trade a breakout retest strategy. That's like one of the first strategies they'll teach you. It's very simple. There's support and resistance. Price breaks out of that. It retests. And then you take the trade. That's the strategy. But there's so much gray area in between that takes experience. So start practicing on prop firms, not spending a lot of money, but just enough to give you feels. Next, and this is something that you should do, that you can do right now. In fact, you should do it right now. Pull out a piece of paper, pull out your phone if you need to, and let's make a trading plan. It's going to take 5 minutes, max. I'm going to be real quick with this. Create a trading plan. So what your trading plan is your strategy, which is 1 or 2 sentences max, and then a picture of your perfect trade. Here's an example. My strategy is a breakout and retest strategy. I wait until price is trending in one direction and breaks through a significant support and resistance area. And when it retests, I take it in a continuation trade. That's my strategy. There's a picture of my perfect strategy. Perfect trade right there. Price is kind of going down. It breaks through a resistance line, retests, I take it. Bing, bang, boom. It's like a 1.5 R to R. That's my perfect strategy. That's my perfect trade. So if you're going to do that, so
works 100% of the time. 70% of the time.
Works 6% of the time, 100% of the time. Yeah, that's right. So here's the deal, and here's what a lot of beginners don't understand. That's a really simple strategy. It's like, again, this is like real 101 trading stuff. That's not going to make you money. Like I just told you my strategy. That's my strategy. That's literally it. I wait until price is broken through resistance or support, retest, and I take the trade. Sometimes. And there's the kicker. That's what separates a profitable trader from a non-profitable trader, is that in that gray area of trading, that's where your edge comes from. My edge comes from, okay, price has just broken through, it's retested, but it's not looking quite right. I don't know. It doesn't look quite right. I don't like how it looks, so I'm not going to take that trade. That's where my edge comes from. Or, hey, this trade just broke out and retested. I typically take a 1-to-1, but this is looking like it'll continue for a little bit further down. I'm going to stretch it out. I'm going to stretch it to a 1-to-2. It's the tiny little things. It's the feel. It's the stuff. It's that stuff that gives you your edge. It's not the strategy. Again, this is the, hey, eat less strategy for losing weight, right? We all know it. It's easy. It's simple. This is my strategy. There you go. Go out and make money. The strategy is pretty simple. What I think is a lot more valuable for us to teach you is not the strategy. That's it. There you go. Boom. 2 seconds. What's more valuable for us to teach you is, okay, how do you stick with it to long enough to develop that feel? What are the best practices to avoid the emotional stuff, to avoid the screwing yourself up, right? The reason you have a coach to lose weight, a nutritional coach or a fitness coach, is not to tell you to eat less. Like, we all know that. If I got a coach to help me lose weight and they was like, hey, I got a secret for you, just eat less, I'd be like, yeah, man, I know, but that's not why I'm not losing weight. And the reason people fail is not because they don't know a strategy. This is my strategy. There you go. The reason they fail is because of all the other stuff. And that's what we want to help you with. Now, at the end of this time, again, we're going to help you with that. We want to be there for you. Everybody who's on here, everybody who's watching right now, we want to help you. We want to give you a few months of personal coaching where send us your trading plan, and then just send us your journal every day, your trading journal. You could send us your regular journal every day too. I probably won't read it. I might, but send us your trading journal every day.
It depends how interesting your life is.
It might be interesting.
I may.
But send us your trading journal every day, and we'll give you feedback. We'll support you we'll give you a few months of just straight up. We'll help you because we want to help point you in the correct direction. This is where the value is. The value is not in giving you a specific strategy. Again, I just gave you mine. The value is in helping you move forward and helping you get rid of the things that you're going to do to screw yourself up, because we all have things that we will self-sabotage. And so the value that we can provide is give you direction. Jordan and I have said it multiple times on our podcast, but if we had learned this by ourselves, Jordan, do you think that's true, that we wouldn't have stuck through it? Having someone there to help push us through made us get through it.
Well, two things helped us get through it. One, spending $1 bazillion and saying we've invested too much money not to keep going. And then, yes, second of all was just having each other, because at either time, like, I've gotten really discouraged, you get really discouraged, and we're there to encourage each other. So absolutely.
Yeah. So that's definitely having someone there to help push you through is where the value comes from. So we want to be able to give that to you. Okay. So here's our 3-month trading jumpstart. This is what is going to take you from bad to mediocre in 3 months. Now, Jordan, because this takes feel, Jordan, could you talk a little bit about how long it takes? Like, okay, so everybody's listening, right? And they're going, okay, so you're telling me it takes feel. That means it takes time. So how much time will it take, right? Like, I mean, how long does it take to get feel and become profitable?
Well, how long does it take you to become good at literally anything? I think the research kind of shows it takes about 1,000 hours to become somewhat.
Well, Malcolm Gladwell there.
Yeah, 1,000 hours to become an expert at something. Not even expert, honestly, just decent. And I would say it's about 1,000 hours. Think about it. How long does it take you to become good at piano playing or something, or typing or something like that? Now, there are savants, Levi being one of them, who can pick up a musical instrument and play it professionally after like 2 weeks. Most of us, though, are not savants. And it takes about, the research shows, about 1,000 hours to just become good at something. Languages, music, and creative things, right? And trading is a creative thing. It's because it's not rules. It's based off of feel, and those feel-based things take that long. And if you're trading an hour a day, which honestly your brain's probably not going to learn much more because this is high intensity, hour a day, and you're doing that during trading sessions, taking into account holidays, we're talking about 4 years worth of trading to become profitable. And I would say that, and if you listen to our earlier podcast, we say 2 years. Honestly, based off of my experience, 2 years probably break even, but then it's a long time before you hit profitability. And based off my experience and that of friends and people who I know who are actual bona fide traders that I know personally and have seen their accounts, we're talking 4 years. If I'd known that when I started, never would have done it. But it's a full college degree.
Yeah, it's a full college degree. Now, and it also takes a lot of discipline and faith. And the reason it takes a lot of discipline and faith is because progress is not at all linear. Jordan, I know we've both experienced this. Progress in day trading is not linear. There's a lot of things that kind of are. If you work out consistently, success tends to be like, or you're eating healthy, you tend to lose weight fairly consistently. If you just keep, if you eat 500 calories less, if you're in a 500 calorie deficit for a week, that's a pound of fat on average. And so you'll tend to lose that much if you just keep going, and it's pretty linear. Day trading is not. Because the market changes and because the market goes through cycles, you'll have times where you do really well and you'll think you made it. And then you hit a time where the market is not doing something you've seen before. And because the market is feel-based, if you see something that you've not seen before, if the market does something you haven't seen before, you're going to be bad all of a sudden. And so it takes faith and dedication to go through 4 years of, hey, I'm getting better. Oh, I'm profitable. Oh, I'm not profitable. I'm flat. I've been flat for 6 months. What am I? Oh, I'm losing money. Oh my gosh. And I'm getting better. Oh, I'm good. Oh, I made it. I finally made it. Whew, thank goodness. Oh, good grief. I just lost all my money. Well, it's years of that, and it takes dedication. It takes faith. You can do it. I firmly believe, Jordan, I firmly believe it does not take a genius. It doesn't take somebody, it doesn't take a savant, but it does take faith and dedication to stick through those ups and downs.
Yeah. And anyone can trade, but not all people can trade.
Do you want to talk about like the personalities of people?
Yeah, I mean, so everyone can learn how to trade. I'm going to use my dad as an example, and he wouldn't mind this because our dad, when I say my dad, our dad is just impatient, and he says, he's like, I get bored. I hate things that take a long time. He likes risk. It excites him. The boring same old doesn't. He does not have the personality to become a day trader. I can teach him how to day trade. Funny fact, he was telling me about his new trading. He got into the markets and started trading on Robinhood back a few months ago and was telling me about his amazing trading strategy. I was like, Dad, I guarantee you in 3 months, you will be down money, because he was up like, I don't know, 150%. He's like, I'm rocking this. I've got this amazing strategy. I was like, Dad, I guarantee you in 3 months you'll be. And of course, he's now down from his initial balance like 75%. So, case in point. But the fact is that anyone can learn to trade, because again, you can teach a monkey how to, notice a breakout, retest, and then trade. But what you can't train is that persistence to trade for 4 years of losing. Like, this is not a job where you can see incremental benefits. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to be trading for months and years and not see any appreciable difference at times. You may even get worse at times. Ask me how I know.
Yeah.
And so you have to have the personality that you will be able to weather that, not for weeks or months as the gurus promises you, but for years and years and years to get profitable. And not everyone can do that. Which, like, people ask me, like, would you recommend to someone that they day trade? And I always just say no. Like, there's literally almost no one that I would recommend to become a day trader, because honestly, let's be honest, there's easier ways to make money. There really is easier and more guaranteed ways to make money. That being said, it's a huge passion and I love it. But it's because of the personality and requires to actually become successful at it. I'm very, very leery of the people that I actually encourage, that I know personally, to get into it. If you're already into it, well, that's why you're on this podcast, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, we want to help you out.
If you're not, it's something you have to take very carefully.
Yeah, we've talked about personality before, but the day trading is a really unique trade. So for the people listening, this is a really good. This is probably a good indicator for you. Asking yourself, okay, am I the type of person who could succeed at day trading? The good question to ask yourself is, day traders are there's two personality types that clash naturally, and you have to be a good mix of both of them. So it's a unique person. So be honest with yourself. You have to be, one, very comfortable with risk. You have to be a risk taker. In other words, you have to be very comfortable with taking money, good money that you have, and throwing it away. Like, that's what day trading, like, you're risking money that you already have. You're taking your money and risking it. When you go to a job, a normal 9 to 5, you never come home with less money than you started with, unless you own a business. If you just go to a 9 to 5, you always make money. Day trading is very unique in where you can lose money, and so it takes a risk taker. On the other hand, you have to be the other thing, because if you're just a risk taker, you will fail. Again, dad is a perfect example. He's a gambler. He doesn't really gamble. He doesn't gamble in real life, but that's the type of person he is. He
has a gambling personality.
He has the gambling personality. So you have to be the other thing, which is you also have to be patient, calm, and able to weather storms. Right? You have to be able to. You have to be very mellow, I guess is the right word. But if you're just mellow and you're not a risk taker, day trading will be miserable for you, because you won't be able to take risks. You won't be able to leave money. You'll take the second you get $5, you'll take it, because you can't risk losing it, right? You're not a risk taker. And those people will also fail. And so you have to be both. You have to be both a risk taker and fairly mellow and relaxed and patient. And if you're both of those things, you can succeed. If you're not, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a really hard time. Not that saying it's impossible, but you're going to have a difficult time. So that's kind of where we stand on that. Money Diary, what was your question? Because I have the list of questions up, but I don't have it listed to like your name specifically. I don't think. I'm looking forward to it. I don't see it, but all right. So I'll answer your question if you can throw it up there. We'll get some questions here. We just have a little bit left, half an hour left. We started late, so I'm not going to keep you guys long. 3-month intensive jumpstart. All right. So stick with this, and in 3 months you're going to be significantly better. Okay, 1 hour a day watching the market. Now,
stick with this and you will be ahead of 99% of other day traders.
Yes. 1 hour a day watching the market. Now, when we say watching the market, pick one or two maximum. 1 or 2 markets, stocks, futures, forex, pairs, whatever. All right, one. And then pick a low time frame. Now, this is something that we disagree on. Pretty much everybody says beginners should start with higher time frames. We disagree, and this follows neatly from our original idea that day trading is field-based. If day trading is field-based, and if day trading is all about, Kevin, what you said, reps, then obviously the more candles you can see, the better. The market is fractal, so you can zoom in all you want. It looks the same. It looks very similar, as long as there's enough, volume. But because the market is fractal, you can lower your time frames and see much more, experience much more, watch it, feel it actually as it moves, rather than like checking in on a snapshot of 1 hour candles. It's not helpful. So 1 hour a day watching the market on low time frames, a minute, one stock, currency, 5 minutes journaling a day, max. Keep it short and sweet. Just take a screenshot of your trades, write a sentence or two about what you did, what you didn't do, how you felt, how you didn't feel. If it takes longer than that, you're not going to do it. So keep it short. I just throw mine in like an Excel sheet or like a presentation.
And this is where you can also play a little bit with your time frames. Like if you feel a minute's too fast, go down to do not do 5 minutes. It's too slow. You're going to see 20 candles. But if 1 minute feel it's too fast, don't be afraid to knock that back down to 2 minutes, right? Or on the other hand, if you're super ADD, like both Levi and I am, if 1 minute feels too slow, bump it up to 30 seconds. Or as Levi and I now currently trade, we do 15 seconds. I would recommend if you're beginning, probably going a little slower. But again, don't be afraid to tweak this. Again, it's not an exact science. It's not a formula. So don't feel you have to stick with that 1 minute. If you feel something's not working, just figure out what works for you over those first few days where you feel like the candles are happening, but you can pay attention to what's happening. Feel free to mess around with that.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so just really quickly answering Samuel's question. So Jordan messaged that he's kind of had a working strategy. He's been doing a while. He's been collecting data. Feels pretty good about like his actual skills. The only worry for him, says, is now his psychological deficiency, which is mainly revenge trading and breaking his risk management rules. So he revenge trades and breaks his rules. Jordan, does that sound familiar at all?
No, never. No. Not at all.
Of course not. Who does that?
I got to say, I think, Levi, you bring this up because I am definitely more of a culprit of this than you are.
Weirdly.
Strangely enough. I feel like anyway, especially during our chats. But the way I overcome that, find an accountability partner and check in with them every day. And if you do revenge trade, have a punishment for yourself set up with that accountability partner. Like, what is going to happen when you do revenge trade? Do you take a week off from trading? Do you have to run 3 mile? Like, pick something, not outrageous, but pick something to make it uncomfortable. But that's the only way you're going to beat revenge trading is, honestly, you've proven to yourself you're not strong enough by yourself. So find someone, and this is where Levi brought in, find a coach / accountability partner. Doesn't even have to be someone who trades. Like, goodness, my wife, honestly, at this point, my wife is probably a professional trading coach by this time because she's been coaching me. She's been my coach for the last couple of years. And so find yourself that coach who's going to help you be accountable, because honestly, by yourself, it's kind of like addiction. I come from a mental health addiction treatment background from a professional standpoint. And people don't get sober by themselves. There are very few people, right? Mm-hmm. That's why it's been proven that group therapy and kind of some of these, AA and NA, they're so effective, whether you agree with all their methodologies or not. They are effective because they remove people out of isolation. People do not change their behaviors by themselves, hardly ever. There are those few exceptions. But let's be honest, if you think you're the exception, you're not. And so getting that group input or that accountability one-on-one, super important.
Yeah, agreed. That's a huge one. I mean, get someone to stick. Jordan, again, I'll beat this one to death. The reason Jordan and I are where we are is because we did it together. It's really hard to do by yourself, and that's again why we're extending this offer is reach out to us, send us your trading journals.
And we did it together. We didn't do it in a big group. We didn't do it on a Discord group that we had to pay to join. Yeah. We didn't do it on Facebook. We did it one-on-one together, doing it. So just bear that in mind.
Yeah, if you do too big of a group, it doesn't help as much. It's helpful to have just somebody you have to help you kind of move forward. Okay, Jordan, before I do some live trading, kind of show kind of what we do and how we view the market, I was going to hit some rapid fire questions. We might not have time to hit all these because actually a lot of people ask questions. And so we're going to, we'll hit some rapid fire questions. If we don't have time to hit them all, we'll email you. We'll reach out or you email out to us and we'll answer your questions. We love having conversations. Okay.
No, tell you what, we will answer those questions on our next podcast.
That's a good idea. We'll do a question and answer podcast. That's a great idea. Well, let's ask a couple of these questions because I like some of these. And then we'll do a question and answer podcast and knock a few out as well. Okay. So I'm a full-time dentist. Nice. My uncle's a full-time dentist. Ali, full-time dentist, works 9 to 5. What suggestions do you have to improve trading? Right now he's trading on an iPad in between patients. It's tough. What advice do you have for people doing a full-time job?
Well, as someone who's currently working a full-time job, trading in between patients is just not going to work. I'll be honest. Like, you're going to be too distracted. I've tried this in my full-time job because I now also work full-time. I'm the executive director for a kind of a hospice organization in Colorado. And so, as you can imagine, very busy. So what I had to do is change your trading session. Like, you're going to have to pick a time when you can spend an hour undistracted time. Now, if that means you work a 9 to 5 as a dentist, but you have a lunch hour that you can dedicate to trading, great. Taking 5 minutes in between patients, it doesn't give you the time to actually wait for your looks, be patient because you're like, oh, I got to take a trade before the next patient. So you either find an hour during the day, lunch hour or something like that. Even a half hour is fine, especially if you're doing like 15-second candles. Otherwise, pick another time of the day. Guess what? I used to trade London session only. I lived in Asia for many years, and I would trade London sessions. So feel free to wake up it depends on which time zone you're in. If you're 9 o'clock, California time, that's already noon Eastern. You could start trading at 6:30 in the morning, which is the New York Open if you're in California. If not, just trade earlier in the day and trade the London session. Things are going to move a bit slower. Trading's going to be a little bit different, but as long as that's what you're trading and you're consistent with that, you're going to have no problem with that. I've traded the London session very successfully in the past. So just make sure that it's dedicated time where you're not going to be interrupted, distracted, etc.
Distractions kill you. It's really tough. It's really tough.
This is a very brain-intensive, no matter what you may think, this is a very brain-intensive activity. You can't do it while distracted.
Yeah, and again, because we say it's feel-based, the run-up is as important as the snapshot. Like, people look at, they check their chart, and it's like, the charts, I've done this a million times. The chart's looking good. And then you take it. And that's just not as helpful. Your brain there's a lot more information that you can't put necessarily a finger on.
Yeah, it'd be like a football player going, I'm going to take this throw or not based off of a still image instead of a full video.
Yeah.
Because your brain does learn to see what is the market doing before, how is it how is it moving, where's the liquidity? There's so much involved that you can't even quantify you can't just log and go, I'm taking a trade now. Horrible idea.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. Ghost says, is it less effective, in your opinion, to trade a smaller cash account that you funded before jumping into a prop firm? To get over the emotional distresses, is it easier? It's easier to lose 265 for me than two
$2.65.
I would say, honestly, I would stick with the prop account because your brain is going to view numbers. So if you're trading a small, let's say you're trading a $500 account, risking 1% per trade, that's a $5 trade, right? Mm-hmm. Your brain and the psychology in it, we don't even have time to go into it. You can go back and listen to some of our podcasts, but the psychology of it, as soon as you move to $10, $15, $20, you're going to have to overcome the psychology of each of those jumps. And so I would recommend just start with your prop firm because you're automatically already trading bigger account sizes. So once you get comfortable with that and you actually are trading that successfully and you move to a funded account, you're already making, it's not life-changing money, but you're making money where you can buy stuff. I bought a really nice Mountain Hardwear jacket with the first money that I actually made from trading a prop firm account. Life-changing money? No, but enough money to get a really nice jacket and go, yeah, I got this trading. Yes, absolutely. So stick with the prop firm account because you'll actually be able to have those numbers, even though they quote unquote aren't real. They are real because when you have that funded account, you are trading that money and you are getting that money. So stick with the bigger number. It's going to be easier for you in the long run.
A lot of people don't realize that the becoming profitable is just the first step, because then the next step is going from profitable to actually making money that's actually means something. Right? Because like you said, every time you step up the amounts you're playing with, you get those feelings all over again. The pressure goes up, right? Going to sports, right? It's like playing. It's the difference between playing, the high school finals game and a college finals game or an NBA finals game. Each time you go up in levels, those feelings start changing you. You start making stupid mistakes. You start chasing stuff. You start revenge trading. You have to conquer each different level, and that's the struggle. Like, getting profitable is just the first step, and then you need to keep pushing past that. All right, so I'm going to, while I pull this up, Jordan, I'm going to pull up a live trading. I'm just going to pull up the NASDAQ. I'm going to kind of explain kind of what we do really quick. I'm going to throw you another question to answer while I'm pulling this up. At what point do you feel like you're choking a trade too much? This is coming from Cole. At what point do you feel like you're choking a trade too much? In other words, in a trade with a 2 risk to reward, but the candlestick wicks are getting close to your stop loss but haven't been hit yet. So in other words, I don't know. You're taking a 1 to 2 risk to reward.
You've heard it. Go listen to our podcast on post or pre-trade clarity. Take your trade. Stop looking at it. Your best trade. Don't mess with it. If after 4, 5, 6 years you start developing the feel, great. Do not do that. Don't worry about what happens after you take the trade. Don't try choking your trade. Take your trade. Put your stop where you feel it should be, based off of your strategy, and just don't touch it. Leave it.
Good. Yeah.
That's it. Don't touch it.
If that was Ghost's question, by the way. Thanks, Cole. I appreciate it. That was good. We've had like 20 questions, so it was good that that I picked that one. Yeah, I mean, don't mess with it, especially when you're early on. That's kind of a more advanced stuff, and frankly, the more you mess with stuff, the worse you're going to be early on. I'll say this, and this is just a slightly different look at this question of, don't take trades, because I read this is slightly different, I'm realizing, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't take trades where be reading the volatility before you take trades. In other words, if the market is, if the wicks are moving around a certain amount, don't be you're putting your stop loss within that amount, right? You have to give the market, if the market has consolidated really tight, and then you can put a stop loss above that or below that, nice. But if the market is moving really freely and kind of there's a bunch of wicks everywhere, don't be taking trades with your stop loss within that. That's a really bad habit. The one thing that separates, we did a whole episode on this, and it's really important. The difference between successful and non-successful traders is successful traders know when to not trade. This is when we talked about blackjack. Okay, when you count cards and you're a blackjack player, the people who can make money bring down the house in blackjack. The way you win at blackjack is to count the cards until you know that you have a better chance of winning. And then betting big when you have a better chance and not betting when you have a less good of a chance. That's how you win. The profitable blackjack players, they're profitable because they know when not to take trades. And then they know when to trade big. They know when to throw their money on, and they know when to not bet at all. That's day trading. I mean, it's almost a perfect example, because good day traders know, okay, the market's not looking good for my trade, and they won't trade. And then they'll see the perfect opportunity. They'll see their shot where they have a better 60% chance, right? And they go, boom, take it. And then they don't care whether they win or lose. It's a stats game. And that's how you become a good trader. You have to view this as a stats game. It's about knowing when not to take trades. So that's kind of how you separate yourself from the losers and become one of the rare winners. You have to know when am I likely to win? When am I not likely to win? Don't trade during the non-likely times and trade during the likely times. Kevin said, and I'm going to pull up the NASDAQ right now, but Jordan, Kevin said, can you give a quick overview of prop firms and how best to work with one?
If you're in the U.S., just stick with Top Step. Honestly, we do have a link that we can send you if you want to. We do get a slight kickback if you use our link. Honestly, they're the only ones that we recommend. Honestly, there's other ones. Pick them. But Top Step, we've actually gotten paid out from them. We know other people who use them. It's only $50 for a 50K account. They have end-of-day drawdown. They automatically, their platform uses TradingView. You don't even have to pay for TradingView. It's already there and included, which is awesome. So again, not paid by them, but if you do use our link, then hey, we get a little discount on the back end. But it's what we both use and would recommend and have actually gotten paid through. And if you live overseas, then just go with your classic FTMO, right? Like they're super reputable. People, I know multiple people who actually use them have gotten paid out with them, but you can't be in the U.S. So if you're outside of the U.S., definitely go with like FTMO, and if not, stick with Top Step.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, so here's I'm gonna show the chart.
And if you're gonna be trading, I can't see right now, Levi, so I'm gonna probably log off.
Okay.
But it's been a lot of fun, and I'll be looking forward to next month or 2 months from now. We'll talk about it on the podcast, but we'll definitely do another one, and I'll have my full studio up.
Yeah, we're going to do more. Jordan's setting up a studio. I'm setting up mine. So we're going to be doing a lot more YouTube videos. We're going to have videos that go along with our podcast. We can show actually what's going on. We can show all that stuff. So we're excited about it. We think it's going to be really useful to a bunch of you guys. So Jordan, thanks for hopping on. Okay. So, Kevin, yes, it can be done remotely. Prop firms are pretty straightforward. They're less reputable ones, so you got to be careful. But they're a good way to minimize your risk as far as you're not going to blow all your money. The most you'll do is you'll knock out of it, and you'll be out by whatever you paid for that month. So it's a good way to minimize your risk. Okay, so here's a chart. Here's the NASDAQ. This is what I trade. I trade the NASDAQ. I don't know why. So Jordan and I started trading Forex, and then we found ourselves performing better on the indices, and then we started trading futures because in the US, the Forex prop firms became a problem. This happened about a year and a half ago, I think. And so we switched to futures, which trades the same way, very similar. And so this is what I trade now. I trade just NASDAQ. I used to trade the NASDAQ and the Dow, and then more I traded, the less things I traded until I narrowed it down to just the NASDAQ. I just trade the NASDAQ on the 1 minute. So here's the NASDAQ on the 1 minute. Now, it's doing absolutely nothing. This is like, I mean, we're in the middle of, what is it? It's almost 9 o'clock. So the market's not doing a whole lot, but it did really well today. Shot through, it made a lot of good progress. I'd be looking for this. I mean, so when it comes to high time frames, they tell beginners to trade high time frames. I highly disagree. All right. What you should be doing is you should be trading low time frames to give yourself a lot of looks. This is a 1 minute chart, I believe. Yes. Trading a 1 minute chart. But the way I use high time frames is just to, hey, where's the overall trend going? This is pretty basic knowledge that everybody says. And it's actually one of those things that everybody says and it's actually true, which is don't be trying to reinvent the wheel, or don't be trying to fight the overall trend. The beginners tend to. And the reason is because there's a weird psychological quirk in people where we think we'll get more money if price has already been trending. The brain tends to go, oh, it likely won't. It's about to reverse, right? There's no way it keeps trending. And so price trends. It's trending beautifully. And meanwhile, we're trying to catch the opposite way because it's like, well, if it reversed right now, I'd make a huge killing. And sometimes it works, God forbid, and you ruin your trading for months. But beginners tend to try to fight. They tend to try to fight the overall direction of the market. And that's a bad idea. It's just bad. Don't be doing that. Try to follow the overall trend. The trend is your friend. They say it. It's true. It's not magic. Again, if you're trading 1 minute charts, like, do you care about the overall monthly trend? No, you just don't. But do you care about like the day? If the market's going up all day, should you be trying to catch reversals? Probably not. That's a best practice. There are people who do reversals. But the problem with reversals that I find is that there's too many opportunities because every moment's a reversal. Technically, price could reverse right now. It could crater right here. Like it's hard to tell. So, okay, so here's what I'm looking at. Price is not really moving, so I'm not going to take a trade. I'm just on TradingView right here. But I'm just going to show you how I view the market. Price is trending. Price has hit a crazy strong resistance level here. This is a weirdly strong resistance level. It really hasn't budged. Like it's been like it came up, hit this price and staying here. For those real beginners here, support and resistance is like the bread and butter of day trading. It's how I trade. I just use horizontal lines. Price tends to bounce off the same levels every time. And the reason is because people buy at the same levels every time. The market is just a whole bunch of people taking trades and computers, but there's a lot of computers now, algorithms, from really sophisticated algorithms, but still a large part of the market is just people. And so the market behaves kind of similar at the same levels because people buy and sell. So it's hit a strong resistance level here. Now, price has stuck here, and what I'm going to be looking at is, okay, price has stayed above this line. Now, right here is kind of a false moment here. It looks like price was going to bounce off this line. This is kind of my look, right? You go, price is hitting here. It broke through. I do a breakthrough retest. It broke through, and it retested right here. Well, how are you not taking that long? Well, if I had taken that long, I probably would have lost it. So how do you know? You don't. I don't have anything magic for you. I know that sucks, but the fact is, I probably wouldn't have taken this trade just because it was the first quick move, and I don't know that I would like how that looks. But I don't have anything magic reason of why. The reason that I wouldn't take that The real reason is I've traded for a really long time. These specific looks, and this is why sticking with your strategy is so important. Because I only trade breakout retests, I'm now top in the world at trading specifically breakout retests. Like it's not like there's millions of people doing this. I'm one of very few people who are the best of the best of this, because that's all I do. It's all I trade. And if that's all you do, if your strategy is the only thing you trade, you're going to be the top 1% at that. And when you're the top 1% at trading your strategy, you're going to be making money, because the top 1% of traders make money. So all you have to do, the reason you should focus really, really hard on a specific strategy and just fight that I promise you will want to switch. I promise you, do not, because you have to stick with it. The only way you succeed eventually is to stick with your strategy and become the best of the best at it. So this is what I'm looking at. Price came down here, caught some stop losses, not on purpose. It's just how it works. Nobody's hunting your stop loss. No one gives a crap. But now it's sitting above this line. It's now sitting above it comfortably. It's not below it. It's just sitting right here. So now I wouldn't be taking a trade here because it's the middle of the night and price acts weird at the middle of the night. But if I was during live trading, let's say this was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because price kind of dies during lunch oftentimes. So let's say this was, noon and price kind of dies here, but it's staying above this line. I'd be looking to get in here. I'd be looking for some trade that gave me a little bit of a bounce, and then I'd aim for, a quick 1.5 to right here. I'd be hopping in here. But I take trades. My trades, if you watched me live, which maybe we'll start doing live trading again. It's been a long time. I miss it. But the reason but I change my direction often, and people hate that, because I could very easily see price do something a little bit weird and then be looking the opposite way. So if price dropped below this point, it'd been sitting above this resistance for a while, and then it broke down, gave me a little bit of a pullback, and I like seeing a stoppage of momentum. Here's what I mean by that. I'm in full screen mode, so I can't really see a whole lot. I like seeing price slow down before I take a trade. I don't like hopping into quick momentum trades, where Jordan does it a lot, where he'll take trades that, I'm going to refresh this because I'm in full screen mode and I haven't used TradingView for a long time and I don't know how to flip and get out of it. I'm an idiot. Here we are. Show you what I mean. Not that. Okay. This. So I'll be looking for price. Since it's now above that line that it was at, I'm going to be looking for it to continue going up. I would be taking a trade right around here, expecting it to go up and trying to catch a quick, because it's been so tight. And this is what I just talked about a little bit earlier. Because price has been so tight above this point, I can put in a really tight stop loss. And if it hits my stop loss, I'm out. I was wrong. If I'm right, this is where day trading becomes an art, is knowing, hey, not just direction. We just did an episode on this about a month or so ago. Day trading isn't just about betting on which direction price is going. It's about timing and knowing, hey, this will give me really good odds. So poker players are really good at playing odds. They don't care about whether they could win. They care about what are the odds and how much am I betting? How much value am I betting here? Am I betting half my hand? Does this make sense mathematically? Day traders should do the exact same thing, which is, hey, how much equity do I have here? Could I get away with putting my stop loss here and only risk 50 and maybe make 100? Or is price really whipping back and forth? And to have any real hope at getting this trade, I might have to put my stop loss way down here, and now I'm only getting a 1-to-1. So day trading, you have to be thinking about not just betting the correct direction. Who cares? Like, you can bet the correct direction. On the NASDAQ, the correct direction is up, right? Long enough, you trade long enough, you give the NASDAQ enough time, it has always gone up, okay? It doesn't take a genius to get the correct direction. It takes a genius to get the correct timing and to get the correct odds. So you need to be watching for, hey, is price giving me a really clean, good spot that I can put my stop loss that will give me really good odds to win? And so that's what I try to do. If price instead went down here and gave me something down here, I'd probably put a line, I'd probably put a support and resistance line somewhere around here. If price dropped below that and then gave me, again, not just straight back, but gave me something like this, and now I'd be looking for a short. So I like price not just reversing and retesting my line. I like price retesting but slowing down its momentum at the same time, because that tells me it can't get above that line. Its momentum is slowed, and now it might just keep going. It broke through, it tried to get back up, and now it's slowing down, and it's going to continue. So that's why when I said kind of showed my perfect trade, I'll show you the picture again, is not just that it breaks through my line. My perfect trade is that price breaks through my line and then kind of works its way back up. And so you'll see it. It broke through, kind of works its way back up. I didn't buy it here. I gave it a little bit of time, and then it drops. Then I'm looking for it to continue on. That's my strategy. That's how I trade. And that's how I view the market. The way you need to be viewing the market is not just about trying to guess direction. You should be trying to, yes, you have to get the direction correct. Like, yes, but that's the easy part. The hard part is, how do you avoid taking trades? How do you cut out the noise? How do you avoid taking trades when you're a blackjack player and you really want to take a trade, but make a bet, but you know that the deck is stacked against you? Good blackjack players know how to not take trades during those times. They could think they're going to win all they want, but if the count in their head is saying that they shouldn't make a bet, they don't take a bet. This is the day trader's secret. The way a day trader is successful is he knows when, or she, not a misogynist. The secret to day trading is knowing when to not take trades. I promise you that's the trick. And if you can learn what times not to take a trade, that's where your edge is. If you can learn, okay, not just my direction, but okay, that trade, yes, it might go my direction, but I don't have a really good, nice, tight stop loss. I don't have a really clear take profit line. And so I don't have really good odds here. So I'm not going to take it. And guess what? You're going to miss good trades doing that. And that sucks. And then and that's going to screw you up sometimes, but you can't let it. You're going to have to let good trades go. You're going to have to see a trade go, I think it's going to go here, but I'm not going to take it because I can't really get a good entry. I can't really get a good stop loss. I'm not getting great odds on it, so I'm not going to take it. And then you're going to watch it go right where you said it was going to go. And guess what? Pat yourself on the back. You made a good call. You're going to miss out on tons of good trades. If you're going to be a successful day trader, you have to get very comfortable with missing out on awesome trades that you called. But when that happens, pat yourself on the back because you did really, really good. That's what separates it's what separates the good traders from the bad traders. Bad traders get in every time if they think price is going to go up, they get in. it's not enough to know the direction. You have to have good odds. You have to have a good stop loss. You have to have a good entry. You have to have a good take profit. We're going to do more episodes on that specifically going forward, especially now that we're visual. We can show good examples. We can do kind of trades while we're making these episodes. But that's the secret. The secret sauce is controlling your emotions so you can avoid taking good trades that are going where you think they're going, but they're not giving you, they don't look right, or they don't give you the right direction. And then managing your losses and managing your emotion around those losses. So, guys, it's been 2 hours. I apologize for the craziness at the beginning. We're just getting our studio set up, so we're this was last minute. I really appreciate the 12 people who made it through, because the other people, I don't know, I think we lost a lot of people on the other one. So I really appreciate the guys, you sticking through. There were more questions that we didn't have answered. We're going to do some question and answers episodes coming up. Really appreciate it. Guys, the offer stands for the next 3 months. Send us an email introducing yourself, and then send us your trading journal. I want you to spend an hour a day, if at all possible, watching the market. If you take trades, if you're in a prop firm, take some trades. Take a screenshot, mark it up in, write a couple words in like a Google Doc, and then send it to us every day. We've done this. We did this last time. We did it for a long time. Marco, I know Marco's here. I still see Marco's trades every now and then. Marco, it's been a while since we've caught up. So we still do it. So take us up on this. It'll be really good for you. I absolutely appreciate it, Mando. Hit the like button. If you could subscribe or leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, where you watch where you listen to our podcast, it's really, really helpful to us. If you share it, the algorithm loves, backlinks. It likes, reviews. It likes all that stuff. And so it's really helpful for us. If you found this useful, if you have not, don't bother. If you have, it's really useful to us. So we're going to be answering a lot of your questions going forward. We're going to be doing more visual episodes. We're really, really excited about it. Thanks for your patience, and we'll catch up with you guys next time. Shoot us your emails. Introduce yourself. We want to meet more of you. So, guys, really appreciate it. I'm going to log off for the night. Best of luck with your trading. Have an awesome week. Have an awesome 4th of July. If in the United States, it's a really we're like it's really big around here. If you're not from the United States, still have an awesome 4th of July, on awesome Independence Day, and we'll catch up with you guys later. See ya.